There comes a moment in your life when God shakes your spirit awake, when God whispers with urgency into your soul, telling you that not everyone who knocks on your door deserves to walk into your home. There are some people who come with smiles but carry storms. Some come with soft voices but bring poison. Some come with familiar faces but carry intentions that threaten the peace, the blessing, and the protection God has placed over your life. If you do not discern who enters your home, you will allow what God protected you from to walk right through your front door. Today, I am here to tell you with conviction and with a spiritual authority that God does not want everyone in your house. God does not want every energy, every spirit, every voice, every influence, or every relationship inside the sacred environment where you sleep, pray, build, grow, and prepare for the destiny God has placed over your life. When you hear this message, something deep within you will awaken, because your home is not just a building. Your home is your sanctuary. Your home is where your soul rests. Your home is the first battlefield where spiritual attacks start. What you allow into your home shapes what enters your mind, what touches your heart, and what influences your spirit. That is why God tells you today, protect your house, protect your peace, protect your destiny, and do not let these 5 people enter your home. The first type of person you must not allow into your house is the person who carries chaos within their spirit. These are people who live in disorder, speak in disorder, behave in disorder, and bring disorder wherever they go. The moment they enter your home, peace leaves. The moment they speak, harmony fades. The moment they sit down, the atmosphere changes. Chaos has a spirit, and people who live in chaos carry the spirit with them. It clings to them. It surrounds them. It follows them. These are the people whose lives are storms, storms of confusion, storms of drama, storms of gossip, storms of emotional instability. And if you allow them into your home, their storms will start raining in your living room. No matter how much you pray, no matter how much you try to be kind, chaos will contaminate any environment it enters. When God wants to grow you, He brings peace. But when the wrong people enter your house, they interrupt the flow of God's peace over you. They keep you mentally distracted, emotionally drained, spiritually weakened, and physically exhausted. These people don't want balance. They thrive on disturbance. They don't want resolution. They thrive on confusion. They don't want healing. They thrive on emotional disruption. You cannot change them, and you cannot save them by allowing them into your private space. Your home is not a battlefield for someone else's emotional disorder. Your home is not a hospital for someone who refuses a healing. Your home is not a therapy center for someone who doesn't want transformation. If someone's presence brings chaos instead of calm, confusion instead of clarity, heaviness instead of harmony, God is telling you, do not let them enter your house. The second type of a person you must never allow into your home is the jealous person. Jealousy is a spiritual poison, a destructive force that enters silently but works violently. A jealous person will sit in your home, look around at what you have, smile on their face, but envy in their spirit. They will look at your blessings not with appreciation, but with silent resentment. They will see your progress and feel threatened. They will see your peace and feel offended. They will see the favor God has placed on you and secretly wish it would disappear. Jealous people carry a dark shadow with them. When they step into your home, their presence carries a heaviness that drains your energy. These are the people who compliment you but don't mean it. They celebrate you but don't feel it. They act supportive, but internally compete with you. When you let jealousy inside your home, you allow an invisible enemy to sit at your table. Jealous people don't need to attack you with their words. Their energy alone is enough to interfere with your peace. God does not bless a house that welcomes jealousy. God does not elevate an environment that entertains envy. God does not build in a space where someone else secretly wants your life. Jealous people will watch your blessings, not to learn from them, but to measure themselves against you. They will hear about your progress, not to celebrate it, but to mentally calculate how to outshine you, or worse, how to pull you back down. The presence of jealousy is a spiritual contamination. It blocks your joy, drains your gratitude, and interrupts your focus. God is telling you today, protect your home from jealous eyes, jealous hearts, and jealous spirits. Not everyone who supports you publicly supports you internally, and you must know the difference. The third type of person you must never allow into your house is the chronic complainer. These are the people who carry negativity like a second skin. They complain about life, complain about people, complain about opportunities, complain about blessings, complain about situations, complain about everything. Nothing satisfies them, nothing inspires them, nothing brings them joy. Their entire spirit is shaped by dissatisfaction. And when they walk into your home, their negativity spreads like smoke in a closed room. It suffocates your optimism, pollutes your motivation, and darkens your atmosphere. God created your home to be a place where gratitude grows, where joy is cultivated, where faith strengthens, and where hope breathes freely. But a complainer suffocates all of that. Their words carry weight, negative weight. Their conversations drain your energy. Their mindset infects your peace. Before you know it, you start complaining too. You start focusing on what's missing instead of what's present. You start to see life through the lens of scarcity instead of abundance. Complaining is contagious. It spreads silently but operates powerfully. When the wrong person enters your home, they can shift your mindset, not because you're weak, but because the environment of your home is sacred, and whatever enters, it begins to influence you. If a person constantly talks about problems, but never solutions, constantly highlights the dark, but never the light, constantly sees what is wrong, but never what is right, then God is telling you clearly, do not let them enter your house. They do not come with peace. They come with spiritual pollution. And your home was never designed to be a dumping ground for someone else's negativity. The fourth type of person you must not allow into your home is the one who carries a corrupting influence, people whose presence weakens your values, weakens your discipline, weakens your moral boundaries, weakens your spiritual clarity, and weakens your commitment to God. These are the people who bring temptation, distraction, and spiritual laziness. When they enter your home, they pull you away from your purpose. They bring suggestions that feel harmless but carry spiritual consequences. They bring conversations that feel casual but plant the seeds of weakness. They bring habits that appear small but open doors to spiritual decline. When you allow such people into your home, your discipline suffers, your focus shifts, your spirit dulls, your direction changes. Sometimes it happens slowly. You don't even realize it at first. But the wrong influence is like a rust. It starts small but spreads widely. You must understand this. The enemy does not need to attack you directly. He can simply send someone who influences you away from God's alignment. One wrong influence can silence your spiritual sensitivity. One wrong person can dim your inner fire. One wrong conversation can plant doubt, confusion, or spiritual sleepiness inside your soul. And this always begins inside the home. Your home is where your habits are shaped, where your decisions are birthed, where your character grows. If the wrong influence enters your home, it enters your inner world. God is telling you with clarity, do not allow anyone inside your home who makes you comfortable with the things that distance you from God. Do not allow any influence that normalizes what God warns you against. Do not welcome anyone who encourages you to compromise your character, weaken your discipline, or abandon your values. Your home must remain a place where your relationship with God is strengthened, not weakened. The fifth type of person you must never allow into your house is the one who carries a spirit of division. These are the people who break unity, destroy peace, separate the relationships, create suspicion, stir conflict, and produce emotional cracks where harmony once lived. They come softly, but their impact is loud. They come politely, but their intention is destructive. They come with a friendly conversation, but they carry seeds of division in their words. Someone with a spirit of division does not need to shout to destroy relationships. They whisper. They don't need to attack directly. They insinuate. They don't need to confront. They suggest. These people ask small questions that create big misunderstandings. They make subtle comments that produce a silent resentment. They speak in ways that shift trust, weaken bonds, and create doubt. They thrive on emotional separation. They do not come to your home to love. It is enough for them to plant the seeds of distance between you and the people God placed in your life. They are the silent destroyers of families, friendships, marriages, partnerships, and the unity God has blessed. When someone with a divisive heart enters your home, they leave fragments behind, fragments that turn into cracks, cracks that turn into fractures, and fractures that turn into emotional breaks. God despises division because it disrupts the unity He designed for your life. God blesses unity. God strengthens unity. God multiplies through unity. But division destroys environments where God wants to elevate you. And God is clearly warning you. Protect your home from anyone who speaks to divide, influence, to separate, or behave to destroy the unity within your walls. Now listen carefully, because this truth will shake your spirit awake. Sometimes the most dangerous people are not the strangers outside your home, but the familiar ones inside your circle. Some people you've known for years should no longer cross your doorstep. Some people you loved, outgrown, no longer carry a place in your home. Some people who used to belong to your past have no place in your future. Growth requires separation. Elevation requires boundaries. Protection requires discernment. God elevates you by clearing your environment. And sometimes that clearing begins with your home. You cannot rise while entertaining people who pull you down. You cannot hear God clearly while allowing voices that confuse you. You cannot move into your destiny while letting past energy enter your present environment. Your home must be fortified with boundaries. Not every visitor is meant to be welcomed. Not every relative is meant to stay. Not every friend is meant to be allowed inside. Not every familiar face is meant to sit on your couch. God is calling you to protect your home because your home holds your spiritual atmosphere. If the atmosphere of your home is contaminated, the direction of your destiny will be affected. Some people bring heaviness, not because they intend to, but because their spirit is heavy. And when they enter your home, their burdens sit in your living room even after they leave. Some people bring darkness, not because they hate you, but because they have not confronted the darkness within themselves. Some people bring confusion not because they want to harm you, but because confusion is the environment they live in. But hear this truth. Just because someone means well does not mean they are spiritually healthy. And your home is not a place for spiritually unhealthy energy. God wants you to protect your peace with the same seriousness you protect your life. Because your peace is part of your life. If your peace collapses, your energy collapses. If your energy collapses, your clarity collapses. If your clarity collapses, your discipline collapses. And if your discipline collapses, your destiny collapses. Everything begins in the home. Let me tell you something deeply important. When God prepares to bless you, He first sanctifies your environment. He removes what isn't in alignment. He exposes what doesn't belong. He reveals hearts you didn't discern before. He shows you intentions that were previously hidden, not to hurt you, but to protect you. Not to separate you from people, but to separate you from spiritual contamination. God does not want your home to be a place where your blessing is drained. God wants your home to be a place where your blessing grows. A place where your spirit is strengthened. A place where your mind is renewed. A place where your heart is protected, a place where your soul rests. And that means some people cannot be allowed inside your home, not because you hate them, but because you love your destiny. Not because you judge them, but because you protect your peace. Not because you think you're better, but because you are becoming wiser. God is calling you to grow, and growth requires boundaries. Think about how many times your peace was disturbed because of someone you allowed inside your home. Think about how many times your atmosphere changed because of someone's presence. Think about the arguments that started after their visits, the heaviness that lingered, the confusion that remained. That was not accidental. That was spiritual. The wrong people bring the wrong atmosphere. The wrong atmosphere brings the wrong thoughts. The wrong thoughts bring the wrong decisions. And the wrong decisions produce the wrong destiny. This is why God urges you to be careful with who enters your home. Your home is the gate to your spirit. Whoever enters your home enters your atmosphere. Whoever enters your atmosphere influences your thoughts. Whoever influences your thoughts shapes your life. Do not take this lightly. The people who enter your home impact your destiny more than you realize. Some of you have been praying for peace, but still welcoming chaos. Praying for blessings, but still entertaining jealousy. Praying for protection, but still allowing negative influences. Praying for clarity, but still letting complainers drain your mind. Praying for unity, but still letting divisive people walk through your door. Your prayers are powerful, but your boundaries must match your prayers. You cannot pray for peace and host chaos. You cannot pray for growth and welcome spiritual pollution. You cannot pray for strength and entertain weakness. You cannot pray for clarity and allow confusion inside your home. God is telling you with love, with wisdom, and with spiritual urgency, set boundaries. Protect your home. Guard your spirit. Build a wall around your peace. Elevation requires separation. Destiny requires discernment. Blessing requires boundaries. Your home is a sacred environment. It is where God speaks to you. It is where God guides you. It is where God restores you. It is where God strengthens you. It is where God molds you. And you must protect that sacred space with all your spiritual strength. The presence of the wrong person can interfere with the voice of God in your life. The presence of the wrong energy can cloud your discernment. The presence of the wrong spirit can weaken your spiritual fire. This is why God is calling you to step into a higher level of protection. Not fear, discernment. Not judgment, wisdom. Not isolation, spiritual maturity. You are not closing your doors out of anger. You are closing your doors out of a destiny. God did not create you to live in confusion. God did not create you to live in anxiety. God did not create you to live in heaviness. God created you to walk in clarity, peace, blessing, purpose, strength, and spiritual authority. And all of that begins with what you allow into your home. When you protect your home, you protect your future. When you protect your future, you protect your destiny. When you protect your destiny, you stay aligned with the path God has prepared for you. There are 5 types of people you cannot allow into your home: the chaotic, the jealous, the complainer, the corrupting influence, and the divisive. These 5 carry spiritual contamination that interferes with the atmosphere of your home and the direction of your destiny. When you let the wrong person enter your home, you invite their spirit into your environment. And when their spirit enters your environment, it begins to influence your mind. Protect your home, protect your peace, protect your heart, protect your destiny. You must rise with a spiritual boldness and declare that not everyone is allowed to cross your doorstep. If they bring chaos, they cannot enter. If they bring jealousy, they cannot enter. If they bring negativity, they cannot enter. If they bring temptation, they cannot enter. If they bring division, they cannot enter